In a quiet suburban neighborhood, a story of duty, defiance, and unexpected justice was about to unfold. Meet Mark, a dedicated Navy officer, finally returning home after a long and arduous deployment at sea. His most prized possession, a U.S. Navy patrol boat, followed closely behind, trailered securely. Mark meticulously positioned the boat, ensuring it was well within his property lines and not obstructing any public access. He understood the rules, especially after years of military discipline. His home was his sanctuary. But peace in this neighborhood was often fleeting, especially with certain residents. Enter Karen, the self-appointed guardian of neighborhood aesthetics and HOA president. Her eyes, sharp and critical, immediately fixated on the imposing Navy vessel. She began to meticulously take notes, her pen scratching furiously across the paper, a clear sign of impending trouble. Mark, observing from his living room window, felt a familiar sense of dread. He knew this routine all too well. The next morning, Karen's pacing intensified. Her frustration was palpable, her movements agitated. She seemed to be working herself into a frenzy, convinced of some egregious violation. Mark watched, a silent observer, his military training keeping his emotions in check. Suddenly, Karen stopped, a determined, almost triumphant look crossed her face. She reached into her bag, pulling out a bright, neon orange sticker. With a flourish, she marched directly towards the Navy patrol boat, her mission clear. Mark watched in disbelief as she approached the hull, a brazen act of disrespect. Then, with a decisive slap, she affixed the orange violation sticker directly onto the government property. The audacity of her actions was staggering. This wasn't just a neighborly dispute anymore. Mark's expression hardened. This was an insult to his service, and to the Navy itself. He didn't reach for the HOA rulebook. He reached for his phone, knowing exactly who to call. His first call was to his commanding officer, reporting an incident involving federal property. Next, he contacted the Shore Patrol, detailing the unauthorized interference with a government asset. He calmly explained the situation, emphasizing the legal implications of tampering with military equipment. Meanwhile, Karen was oblivious to the storm she had just unleashed. She sat in her living room, radiating smug satisfaction. She probably imagined Mark scrambling to remove the boat, defeated by her superior HOA authority. But her moment of triumph was short-lived. A sudden flash of blue and red lights pierced the afternoon calm. Her head snapped towards the window, confusion quickly turning to alarm. Two tall, authoritative figures in full Navy, Shore Patrol tactical gear approached her front door. A firm, insistent knock echoed through her house, shattering her peaceful afternoon. Karen, still bewildered, opened the door, expecting perhaps a delivery or a neighbor. Her jaw dropped as she saw the Shore Patrol officers, their faces stern and unyielding. One officer held up official military documentation, its contents chillingly clear. The words tampering with federal property hung heavy in the air, a stark contrast to her HOA grievances. Karen's face turned a shade of crimson. She tried to argue, her voice rising in indignation. But the officers remained stone-faced, their professionalism unwavering in the face of her outburst. From his own porch, Mark watched the scene unfold, a calm, disciplined expression on his face. He felt no malice, only the quiet satisfaction of justice being served, the military way. Soon after, the Navy patrol boat was carefully loaded onto a transport vehicle. It was being moved to a secure base, away from any further civilian interference. Meanwhile, Karen received a hefty legal summons, a tangible consequence of her actions. Her HOA power meant nothing against federal law. The lesson was learned the hard way. Mark, now in his crisp US Navy working uniform, stood tall and proud. He rendered a sharp, respectful salute, a gesture of honor and finality. A clear message: respect for duty, respect for property, and the unwavering hand of justice.